Internet. It is your favorite podcast fanfiction host. Wait a second. Did that out of order. It is your favorite fanfiction podcast host, SneakyDevil. Now, this is Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9002. If you are here and you are a regular, you know the spiel by now. We review bad fanfictions. By bad fanfictions, I mean whatever we find on the front page. Boy, are there a lot. So, let me just swap us on over and remove the timer counter. And it is just me today! If you notice by that top bar, it is my name alone. That's because I'm the only one here today. Because apparently my co-hosts just really like springing the fact that they're not going to be showing up on me in the final fucking hour before we start. But yeah, that's fine. I have brought assistance. Assistance. So, we got a couple of fics that I kind of actually wanted to hit up today. We have a Harry Potter fic in which Harry Potter controls more gold in the world than exists. We have a Kill the Kill Worm crossover. You know, and if we get past that, we're gonna do a Naruto fic of Konoha's Dream Team. I'm glad to see you are all active tonight in the chat. Thank you for the resubscription, Zeeks. I appreciate your continued support. Kill the Kill Worm? Yes, that is a thing, unfortunately. Do the HP thing first so I can get sleep earlier. Sure, alright. So the economic power he knows not, Year 1. As always, the fanfictions can be found in the Discord if you wish to follow along or read them yourself. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not remember to remind you all that the Twitch guidelines specifically state that you are to not contact the author in any form or fashion unless they have previously stated otherwise, which they have not in this instance, because that would be considered harassment. Some people, some critics of this show, do not know what harassment is, or even the guidelines that I stream under, because they chose not to even look at them before, accusing me of such things such as the fact that I don't let authors come on in to the podcast and defend their fics. Which is funny, because I often have authors on this podcast, and we often make fun of their fics. Hey, if there's only 2 characters, maybe Isley could come on and read a Hermione Harry fic. Pass. Pass on that one. I'm kind of sick of Hermione Harry. Which this is probably a Hermione Harry. Yeah. So anyway, this is the economic power he knows not. Year 1. A Harry Potter fanfiction. A smarter, more cunning Harry discovers the true meaning behind the Golden Rule. Smarter, artistic. I think that author misspelled. I think it's supposed to be autistic. Hufflepuff Harry will take the wizarding world by storm. He's out to make friends and money and make a little more art along the way. Okay. Greater good, exclamation point, Dumbledore. Decent Snape. As of December 5th, 2018, there is a rewrite. Now, apparently the author had published the entire story in one day, which would probably go a long way to explaining why the favorites counter and follows counter are so low comparatively to other Harry Potter stories with the same premise. As if you will all cast your memory, if you haven't already drank in the Mind Bleach, cast your memory back to a couple podcasts ago when we covered similar fics to this, and it got several thousand favorites and follows for some ungodly reason. More of a Guinea fan? No, fuck Guinea, man. Guinea can go get hanged off of the side of a bridge for being a witch. I found this fic a while ago, and it's fucking ridiculous. Oh boy. So, this is the main characters. It's a Harry Potter Hermione Granger fic with a side character of Neville Longbottom. Plot! Blah blah blah. In this story, Harry isn't abused by the Dursleys. They just show indifference and animosity. So, canon. And Harry will be sorted into Hufflepuff. Why? As I believe the house doesn't get enough honor or screen time, but he will also be a Slytherin. He will use the money earned to buy things in non-magical worlds for his fight against Voldemort rather than buy them in magical world. Wait. This is something I really don't understand about the Harry Potter fandom. It's like, Harry Potter is going to go into Hufflepuff, but he is also be cunning. It's like, you realize that you can actually have more than one personality trait. Like, you can be loyal to your friends, but also be cunning. Like, those aren't mutually exclusive. Just, you know. In case people didn't realize this, being brave and cunning is not mutually exclusive. Being smart and cunning is not mutually exclusive. Being smart and brave is not mutually exclusive. You can, in fact, have more than one personality trait. Hello, Vision Shot. This is a C8's friend? Interesting. Alright, let's get going. Author's note. Gold prices in British pounds for Monday, July 1st of 1991 was £207.54 each. Each wizarding galleon weighs 6 ounces of pure gold. Conversion rate of pounds to galleons is 5-1. For 1 galleon, paw times W equals P coin, while paw is gold per ounce and W is weight per ounce, and P coin is price of coin. Therefore, each coin is worth around 12. Okay. I actually did the math for this a while back for Arn's story, and basically what it came out to is that ignore the fact that that whole fucking 5-1 thing exists. Like the premise of this story is that the worth of gold is still worth gold even though it's printed on an unknown coin, which it's very 50-50. But even if it, like, the math is on the Discord server somewhere for Arn. But The author's trying to use the premise of two completely different rationales for value of money is somehow going to equal infinite money. But, yeah, whatever. Let's go. Pal means dick, therefore the price of gold is per ounce dick. The letter says, we make it up as we go along, why even bother? I don't know. And blah blah blah, turning 1 galleon into infinite money, and blah blah blah. Like, that's the other thing, is like, this whole money-making scenario is dependent upon the idea that the money of gold value remains the same with each gold coin you put onto the market. And sure, a single gold coin being sold onto the market, hell, even like 5 gold coins being sold onto the market, it's not going to impact the price of gold too much. But if you're going to be selling, 500 coins onto the market per week, per day, you're going to be selling 30,000 coins per month into the market. That's going to drop the price and value of gold. Like, scarcity plus demand equals value. And if you reduce the scarcity, then the value goes down, which means you're going to need to start selling more coins to make the same sort of business economics, yeah. I wonder how drunk Sneaky is. I am 0% drunk. I only have a single can of cider in front of me. It's only a 9%. Not even through half of it yet. Anyway.
Hello, I am here too.
Oh, congratulations. We're just getting through why this the author is basing the entire premise on their story upon a fixed gold price and the conversion ratio of J.K. Rowling also being used. As apparently the goblins are retarded.
Harry Potter and Rand Edition.
Basically. Sure not as drunk as he wishes he was, basically. Fractional, what's that term? Fractional reserves?
Fractional reserves? I don't remember off the top of my head.
Sneaky as a guest now. We can drink while the guest reads.
No.
Author's note 2. This is the beauty of fanfiction. I just invent numbers as I go along. If there's anyone who complains that this is not believable, read my previous sentence. This is fanfiction and I make everything up. Also note that as an American, I may misspell or misuse British mannerisms. I would like some constructive criticism on how to improve this. Okay, well...
Well, first of all, I don't know why you're apologizing to the British.
Yeah, there you go. So, this is actually a fairly good point that the author does make in terms of fanfiction, and it's something I do like talking about, as I'm sure veteran watchers are all aware that I do love waffling on about nothing.
He does this often, don't he?
Yes. The thing is, I hate the excuse, this is fan fiction, we can make things up. It's like saying freedom of speech isn't freedom from consequences. It's like, yes, no shit, that's sort of implied-ish. Caveats, of course. Just like there's caveats in my statement. But... there's two ways to go about writing a fan fiction. Seriously? Or jokingly. You can have your serious stories, which can break off into, like, adventure, your shonen, your slice of life, your fluff stories, where everything's just, happy and shit. You also can have your silly variant of fan fiction, where it also can be, slice of life, silly and cracky, and that's where you get your more esoteric, and this is really out there, and you just got to enjoy the premise sort of fanfics that don't make any sense at all, but it's hilarious and funny, and an enjoyable read because it's just silly and nonsensical.
Oh, how silly!
You can't be they do not cross over though. You can't have a cracky serious story. That's not how that works. If you want to be like, oh well, I'm just making everything up because it's fan fiction, it's gonna be silly and crap. That's a crack story. Trying to play it as like a gritty, serious, this is how Harry Potter takes over the world using economic might and conversion ratios.
Well, I mean, at that point, it's just basically an isekai, ain't it?
Yeah, basically. But that's not a serious story, though. But the author's trying to write it like a serious story, but with an absolute crack premise. And it doesn't work. It's not interesting. And fucking hell, the numbers show it's not interesting. Only 400 people in the Harry Potter section. Only 400 people favorited this story.
I mean, that's
fucking minuscule. Compared to some of the other stories, because we've covered similar stories with this exact same premise, and they have like 4,000 favorites and follows, so this story only has 400. So there is a clear, something. And I mean, those stories were shit, don't get me wrong, so the standard bar is really fucking low. So either somehow this story is far worse than the crap we've already covered in previous podcasts, or this story improves my point in that you can't write a cracky, serious story. You either got one or the other. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can still have fluff stories that are based on a crack premise, where you kind of just hand-wave a majority of the background stuff to get to the slice of life fluffy sort of crap. Like, it doesn't have to be silly, it doesn't have to be a comedy to be crack. It just has to be, not, okay, X happens, what does Y happen? Like, you can just be like, oh, they fucking went to school and Harry's got a fucking maid now. Oh, what's the maid? Oh, she's a battleship. Why? Because reasons.
Why? Why? Because the author masturbates to them. Let's be real.
Yeah, the author. I did actually say that earlier, Zeeks, is that the author did dump this all in one day, but apparently they did also update it.
Oh, updates! Amazing.
Yeah, you can put honest parts in comedy. I'm not saying you can't. What I'm saying is that trying to take a cracky premise and then write it straight-faced and seriously doesn't work unless your name's Monty fucking Python, Like, even that, it was written straight-faced as a joke. Like, the author here is trying to take a cracky premise and is trying to write it like it's a actual thing, like, unironically is trying to write it seriously. You're in on it.
Yeah, it's a wee bit weird. Just a wee bit.
Sneaky, fuck off. You're in on it. Yeet off. In on the whole maid thing? Yeah, I know. But that's a cracky premise. Written crackily. With a lot of hand-waving. I mean, yes, admittedly it is based on some more research, but decent amount of hand-waving. Still a good story. It's fluffy. Nice, happy read. It's not going anywhere, it's not exploring anything, it's just a nice, happy read to sit down and be like, yeah, this is nice.
This is nice. I'm glad I got the chance to read this.
Like I said, why on earth would I care about whole economics in Harry Potter? Yeah, that's my point though, is it's like trying to do economics in Harry Potter, as we've seen, doesn't work. Because if you try to write as a serious premise, as you're like, oh right, Harry Potter is gonna, work the magic world like he's the Wolf of Wall Street, and become a mega loaded. Why hasn't anyone else done this before now? That's the problem with trying to write any sort of economic story with Harry Potter seriously. Trying to explain why no one else up until this point has ever even thought of that. Why was it that two 11-year-old students who probably just finished doing their multiplication and division tables. I don't know. What were you learning when you were 11?
Was I reading when I was 11?
No, math.
Oh.
Multiplication and division?
I don't remember what I was learning at 11. I think I was just starting to learn algebra.
Let's see, that was 5th grade?
Yeah, that was just like the first level of algebra.
Yeah, so for first level algebra students are
that's
going
what they were
to
teaching us. What I was learning was absolutely fucking nothing.
Well, yes, but what my point being is that these are two 11-year-olds. Typically it's either Harry or Harry and Hermione together as 11-year-olds.
They're geniuses.
Somehow coming up with a whole economic strategy that ends up with them owning all the money in the world because reasons. And no one else has ever done this before because reasons. But guys, I want you to take this 100% seriously.
Well, didn't you know? Fucking... Everyone who's 11 is a super genius as long as it's anime.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm being contacted by people now.
This is basically like Harry Potter meets anime tropes, effectively.
No, Harry Potter meets anime tropes was the Sovereign of Magic fic that we read. Where Harry just got 50 bajillion titles and basically was an isekai character. A really shittily written isekai character.
Well, no, I'm just saying that this whole, oh, they're a super genius at 11 years old. That's part of fucking anime. That's what I was talking about.
The fuck is binary mathematics?
The fuck? What? The fuck you talking about, Willis?
Binary mathematics. The fucking Calvin here is just binary mathematics. Something like 10001 plus 11111 equals question mark. What the shit? Why is that relevant?
How is that at all relevant, sir?
That makes... What the fuck? Whatever. Fucking Germans.
Would you like to snuff the sausage, yeah?
Snort the sausage harder.
I am so sorry to all of the Germans in our chat.
Harry Potter was an unusual boy. To the general eye, he seemed to be rather scrawny and malnourished. He had a rat's nest of unruly black hair, mesmerizing... Sorry. I'm gonna need the deep voice for this one. Mesmerizing emerald green eyes.
Here's the thing that I've noticed about every single one of these Harry Potter fanfictions. You can know exactly which ones have the hots for Harry.
Yes.
Because they're always just he had mesmerizing green eyes and all that kind of shit.
And worn out glasses. He also had a lightning-shaped scar on his forehead, but what was most unusual was the fact that he was a wizard. You see, after a whirlwind of the previous week in which he had received hundreds of letters addressed to him, but unable to open because his aunt and uncle had snatched them away, he found himself on the floor of a ramshackle hut on a large rock in the middle of the bay. There, at the stroke of midnight on his 11th birthday, 31st of July, 1991, he was met by Rubeus Hagrid, a rather large man with twinkling beetle-black eyes, and a wild growth of a beard, who had knocked down the door to the hut in a fit of rage at the insults being thrown by Harry's Uncle Vernon, gave his cousin a pig's tail. Hagrid gave him his letter and informed him of the things that his relative should have told him. The next morning, Hagrid took him to the wizarding marketplace in downtown London. Diagonally.
Diagonally.
J.K. Rowling has just come out with a tweet recently declaring Diagon Alley as gay and sexually
fucking
interested
stop.
in Nocturne Alley.
Fucking stop. Just fucking stop, please.
Now, that evening, Harry spent the time looking through his books and other materials that he had purchased from the shops in the alley. He had decided to name his owl Hedwig because the author is an unoriginal shitbag, and he let her out of his window so she could get familiar with the area and hunt if she desired. He gazed upon the golden coins and began thinking about something that had niggled at the back of his mind earlier. Now, Harry had taken basic economics during primary school.
Basic economics. Look, I know the joke is that people in fucking... I know the joke is
Primary school.
No, okay, I know the joke is that American fucking education isn't as good as, you know, British education, but come on, guys.
Primary school in Britain is typically the first 3 or 4 grades of elementary school and occasionally also kindergarten. Now, basic economics for 10-year-olds. Okay. Basic
Interesting.
economic classes. Interesting. Fascinating. Wow. Look at all of those high schools offering basic economic classes. Gonna need to put my big think cap on.
You sure you need that big think cap on?
You're right, I need my mammoth think cap for this one. Yeah, basic economics for classes 1 through 4. Yeah, Calvin, exactly. don't 7-year-olds just take basic economics?
What, you saying you didn't in when you were 7?
No.
You didn't take basic economics that would help you through college?
No.
You clearly weren't thinking for your future.
No, I clearly was not thinking about my future, because I don't think I'd ever thought my future would be the fact that I'm sitting here ranting about shitty fan fictions because the author is too up their own ass to actually do some fucking research before they start trying to write some serious, unironic take on Harry taking over the wizarding world using a currency system that is fucking broken. Oh, if you told me 10 years ago I'd be doing this, I would be like, yeah, probably.
You're shitposting for a living. How does that make you feel?
That sounds like something I would end up doing.
I was gonna say, that definitely sounds like it's right up your fucking alley, my dude.
Now, he knew the value of gold and how it was bought and sold in the stock market. I'm sorry, I didn't even know there was a stock market until at least high school.
Okay, why are they selling gold on the stock market?
Stock market handles gold.
Fuck?
No, stock market handles gold. They also handle oil and silver and copper and nickel and, you know, bulk materials. The stock market handles that too. Yes, keep in mind, everyone, the 11-year-old with a basic economics class that he took in 3rd grade knows the value of gold and how much it goes for on the stock market, and as well how to sell it on the stock market. No, honestly, I didn't even know there was a stock market until Yeah, freshman year of high school. If
And that's
someone
not
gave me
surprising to me.
if someone gave me 10,000 euros, well, then again, I did come from New Jersey, so when I,
That's
when I
I'm
was a
not sure how
kid,
to take that.
someone would have given me 10,000 euros. I would have been like, buy all the Star Trek toys. Well, if someone gave you 10,000 euros when you were a kid, Calvin, I think you would have thrown that money back in their faces and said, "Get the fuck out of here with your Monopoly money."
I mean, that's basically what they would be giving you.
I mean, depending on how old Calvin is.
We don't know how old they are.
In 7th grade, I had an econ elective. Yeah, true enough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see. I had, home economics. I had in 6th grade. That was, um, well, yes, mostly learning, how to cook basic meals, how to sew basic tier shit, like sew without stabbing yourself. Um, and, how to manage money spending inside the house.
Here's how you manage your allowance, kids.
But not like economics. Like, we didn't learn that shit. All we learned was like, alright, this is how you don't completely fail the second you leave your parents. Nice. And yeah, Calvin, because American schools are American-y and we do things weird, we have electives. It's usually like anywhere between 5 to 20-ish classes that we can choose to take between 6th grade to 12th. Let's see, blah, 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 blah. He was taught how to read and understand the financial section of the newspaper. Bitch, I can't even read and understand the financial section of the newspaper. Which, I mean, admittedly is my own fault, probably. But still, 11-year-olds, really? Press X to heavy doubt. He was also taught how to identify pure gold. I'm sorry. Basic economics class. He was taught how to identify pure gold and how to test it.
I want to go to that person's school. Can I go to that person's school?
Basic economics. You mean if you're more inclined to learn French or Spanish? I mean, yeah, French, Spanish, Latin, other shit like electronics in terms of soldering and making your own circuit boards and how to wire a house, carpentry and mechanic work. We also had broadcasting classes. How to operate cameras, how to operate switchboards, how to, fun stuff. My area was I'm not gonna say my area was so poor they had to outsource, but
They had to outsource.
my area's local news channel was run by the local high school.
I'm not sure if I should be sad for you yet, or if I should just feel physical pain.
So like our local news channel was a bunch of fucking high school students who were like, yeah man, I like went out and talked to like 3 people about something.
I went out and talked to 3 people. That was what I did today.
Yeah, it was fun shit. I mean, admittedly, my high school's mechanics class may or may not have also operated as a chop shop. Unconfirmed, of course. This is a rumor I heard. But I wouldn't be fucking surprised. Anyway, so taking one of the coins with him, Harry ventured downstairs and outside to the rubbish bins. He dug around the trash until he found that day's paper and turned to the financial section. Huh. As of today, gold is being traded at 207.54 per ounce. It'd be per troy if you want to be fucking specific like that, author.
If you're gonna fucking...
You know, if you're gonna beat your meat to how specific your research was, get it fucking right then. You know, I'm cursing a lot this stream. I'm really disappointed in myself, but I'm more disappointed in the author for making me curse this much.
I'm mad myself, don't worry.
Americans have apparently the most awesome of school systems. We have a school system. I mean, now, admittedly, the reason why my school ran mechanic shops and electrical wiring classes and broadcasting stations and all that is because we were poor as shit. And my school also sold grass.
Sorry, what?
My school sold grass to pay the teachers. We didn't have enough money to buy paper. We barely scraped by with all these programs we were running and all the government funding we were getting and the repair shop and the alleged chop shop and all of that was barely enough. And selling fucking grass was barely enough to pay our teachers every year. No, grass as in literal fucking grass. Like,
it wasn't
rolls
weed, guys.
Of grass.
It was quite literally just fucking grass.
Like, this isn't a euphemism for anything. Literal grass. You wouldn't even need to know the precise numbers. It's not like he's a gold trader. He just needs to sell it. Yeah, well, Zeke's, that would make sense and would be more believable.
But as we've already discussed, we are not in believable times here. This is the realm of, someone doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. I only have Discord and Twitch on, but this is already improvement. Oh, good for you, Birdie.
Oh, did you fix your fucking computer problems? Nice.
Now I'm disappointed in your school. Yeah, look, while we did have a lot of prolific drug dealers in our school in fact did not take part in that. As far as I am aware. Anyway, let us continue with this completely irrational story that wants to be taken seriously. Anyway, so blah 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 blah. Harry went inside and, determined that the coin weighed 6 ounces of gold. Well, assuming the coin is made from pure gold, then the coin weight, that's a whopping 1/12 sterling pound. An evil grin formed on his face as an 11-year-old found a critical flaw in the wizarding system. I'm just saying here. 11-year-old with a basic economics class, quote unquote, who looked at a newspaper
and said, I understand that shit,
was able to devise a money-making scheme that would crash both the world's gold economy and the British wizarding economy.
I don't see anything wrong with this.
And I'm supposed to believe that at no point, ever, anyone else, including the adults who had magical kids who sent their kids to the magical place, so they had to go and buy supplies for their magical kids, and they had to pay money to get these gold coins, including the adults who, by percentage and statistical chance, at least some of which would be actually gold traders as a job, never put two and two together and figured out, holy shit, I can just sell the coins for more money.
It's time to dock points for that shit.
As a reminder, it took until the 19th century for the wizarding world to figure out about toilets. Oh yes, of course, because before that,
We don't take
wizards
that
just
into
shat
canon.
themselves.
We don't talk about that at all, please, ever.
Yeah, I firmly believe in death of author.
I firmly believe that J.K. Rowling has gone fucking senile.
Yeah, so Calvin, basically J.K. Rowling came out and said until like the 19th century, wizards just shit their pants and then would disappear the poo.
Yeah, we tend to not really consider her
Anything
works
J.K.
canon.
Rowling says is just not canon. Zeeks, I mean, what if the wizarding world is under the compulsion to miss this idea and Harry is miraculously immune? Still garbage. It still wouldn't make any sense. Get it? Sense? Haha! Yes, even Hermione. Especially Hermione. But yeah, it's just... It's why I hate stuff, because, you know, Naruto does not this precise sort of stuff, but like, oh, Naruto figured out that using these two hyper common jutsus that literally everyone knows in this specific combination does X thing and makes him instantly win all the battles ever because now he's a super genius with god tier abilities because of these two hyper common jutsus. I've seen quite a few stories like that. And it's just like, and you're telling me that in a world where everyone is...
where his father existed,
Well,
no one
yes.
thought about this.
In a world where there is an arms race that has existed since the dawn of recorded history, nobody before Naruto ever thought of this.
Come to think of it, if nuclear weapons were invented in the Naruto-verse, would they be considered something... Well, I mean, obviously they would be something of note, but would we literally just have fucking a Cold War at that point?
No.
'Cause I know there was technically a Cold War. It was like the uneasy peace or whatever.
Well, see, the problem is that to obtain a nuclear weapon in the Naruto-verse would be basically impossible unless you did it with jutsus. Because the facilities required to obtain weapons-grade nuclear material to make nuclear missiles, you know, that's ignoring the fact that they don't even have missiles in that world. But
I mean,
say theoretically
we're
they
able to build them.
no, they don't have any missile technology. They don't have any plane technology. Like gyrocopters blew people's minds in the Naruto world. So like, you know, like trains were a shocking thing in the Naruto world. So no, missile technology did not exist. So theoretically, missile technology exists somehow. The facilities required to non-jutsu refine fissile material into weapons grade material are so easily sabotaged. It just wouldn't happen. Like, so easily sabotaged.
Yeah.
Nukes really don't mean missiles, they just mean payloads.
I just figured because of the way that...
yes, they technically could create some sort of, like, briefcase nuclear bomb they could sit down and press buttons on, and then detonate it.
I'm just trying to think of, like, the politics of that particular world. Like, what would... Like, people keep talking about just like, oh, this and this would happen, but I'm just like, why would that happen when we already have, like, they're having serious problems having to deal with, in that world, having to deal with, like...
No,
literally the uneasy piece was basically...
Jinchuriki just completely outclassed nuclear weapons.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
I mean, yes, well, I mean... technically speaking... a nuclear weapon wouldn't require one of the unique 9 beasts, and technically speaking, anyone could get their hands on it, but they're just so outclassed. Say it's even like a hand-delivered nuclear bomb someone sets up. It's just not even in the same ballpark.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not fit. It's not possible, really. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, like tactical nuclear weapons, for example. The height of portable nuclear bomb, in terms of non-missile based payload, like delivered by ground payload, would take out a few city blocks, at best. And that's still fairly unwieldy to carry around. And so it's just like, is that really worth it when you could just like get some sort of like pitfall jutsu or some shit and effectively do the exact same thing without needing giant secret facilities to refine ultra rare materials?
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, like Aura says, like the dust release that the Iwakage has literally disassembles things on the molecular level. It's like, and this guy can just shoot this shit off and just delete areas.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why, like, guns aren't really a thing in the shinobi world. Because no one would think of trying to make a faster bow and arrow. Or better bow and arrow. Or a bow and arrow with more ammo. Because you already can't shoot shinobi with a bow and arrow. So why would you make a better bow and arrow if that line of weapon technology is already useless?
I suppose that's true.
But anyway, back to the Harry Potters. This is gonna be garbage. So blah blah blah. Harry marches downstairs.
I already know it's gonna be garbage.
I know. But anyway, so Harry marches downstairs and he's like, Vernon, I want you to help me break the world economy. And Vernon goes, oh, that is interesting. I would be willing to give you, do it for 5% monies. And Vernon's like, oh, well, that's easy money. And so then Harry went down to the Bank of London. And then Harry negotiated with the bank to give them a 7% interest.
Excuse me while I just... If anyone can picture my current reaction, just picture question marks just like popping up over my head.
Author?
Extreme confusion is currently afoot.
Author?
Question. Yes, are you pencil head retarded?
It gets better. 7% interest if he manages to keep £100 in the account per month. With an increase to 10% for 15 years if he keeps £10,000 in the account. 10%!
That's not how economics works. That's not how economics works at all. As a matter of fact, I think that this author doesn't know what economics is. I'm starting to have the strange inkling that he doesn't. Because that makes no sense. That makes no sense at all.
Like, I am lucky if putting 20, like, I got an offer recently from my bank. I couldn't obviously do it, but I got an offer recently from my bank of sealing away $25,000 for 15 years with a promised guaranteed interest rate of a whopping 5.4%. Harry's talking about a savings account. I'm talking about a CD.
Okay. Fairly certain shaving accounts don't let you do that. Like, I'm 90% sure they don't let you do that, my dudes.
Oh.
Matter of fact, I'm like 100% sure they don't let you do that.
No. Not at all. I am impressed, boy. I didn't think you could be financially savvy. Harry looked at his uncle.
Is this the part where he just bankrupts his uncle?
And I'm sure that's where the don't take it seriously comes in.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know what you're referring to on that one. You're going to need to be a little bit more specific.
Oh, hey, Zarlin.
Oh, hey, it's Zara. Hey, welcome to the shit fest that is apparently an 11-year-old breaking the world's economy.
Which makes no sense.
I'm pretty sure that's not how the money works.
Yeah,
no, that's
this is two people who don't know how economics work. You both know this is not how economics
hold on.
works.
He took a basic economics class. I think he knows how to run the world stock market.
That infuriates me.
Degrees? Who needs degrees? All you need is a basic economics class in 3rd grade, and you're ready to break the world stock market. Pfft, who needs hedge fund managers when you can just have 11-year-olds do your economics for you?
It's raining man. It's raining man.
He bought the gold, dumped the gold.
You really didn't get the reference, did you?
I knew what the reference was. I was making my own reference.
No, he
don't
never
know
wrote
the
Don't Take It Seriously.
Bogdanovs.
No, he wrote, this is the beauty of fanfiction. I get to make everything up as I go along. He never said don't take it seriously.
Over sneaky speaking.
Yeah, exactly as it should be.
Sneaky is kind of just... We should probably stop shitposting about that and get back to the actual story.
Agreed.
Anyway, so Harry manages to convince the bank to give him an unreasonable interest that was never before precedented.
How?
Because by the power of I'm an 11-year-old with basic economics classes, and
did he say that he's bank owner's illegible child or something? I don't know.
See, what I think is he actually just fellatioed the bank owner.
Remove these mind images immediately.
It had to
Please
be a
never
very
say
long
that ever
year.
again.
Anyway. Uncle Vernon, how would you like to piss off the wizarding world? And Vernon grinned at Harry. Alright, what's in it?
What is it, boy?
Twice over the next 2 weeks, Harry and his uncle would wake up, get ready, and check the London Times for the somehow unaffected gold stock prices.
See, Harry, you can't fight. This is a final boss you are not ready for. It's the Bogdanovs.
They progressed into Gringotts Bank to exchange the British pounds they had earned into wizarding galleons, where they would then return to the Muggle side and go to the gold dealer.
isn't that explicitly not a thing?
What?
Exchanging pounds for gold?
No, it is. So, Rowling, this is the source of all of these retarded Harry controls the world with economics fix. Is so Rowling, when she was originally writing her story, decided that a good measurement of pure gold to pounds was 5 pounds to 1 pure gold coin.
That doesn't make sense.
And she said herself, well, it's like in the range of it, right? And it's like, no, you dumb bitch. It's way more.
Sneaky, you please take into account that the book was released in June of '97. And if Robot Chicken taught me anything, it's that Rowling was basically 5 years prior was digging through dumpsters. So I'm pretty sure gold coins for £5 was normal for her.
I mean, most artists are doing it through dumpsters. It's not an excuse. Writers technically count, by the way. I'm just saying that. So people don't use
Anyway, before Arn starts chanting Day of Rope, let's keep going.
Stop.
Anyway, so blah blah blah, they're changing money. And like the premise of this story is even more idiotic. Like, for example, in the story I'm writing with Arn, we still made a commentary on the gold conversion rates, and what we did is have the pounds actually convert to the, actual worth. So it actually takes like whatever we calculated it was like 200 something or 250 or whatever we calculated it out to, converted into 1 galleon. But then we also made sure to keep all the prices in that range as well. So, it wasn't like every like getting a sandwich didn't cost 5 gold. Like getting a sandwich cost like 15 nuts. The respectable pricing of it around $5, $8.
Respectable pricing, he says.
Look, man, you've been to American food places.
The gold costs 41 bucks a piece, a gram, from what I see on the standard site. That's pretty nice.
If Harry tried this, he'd just be assassinated by the goblins, totally. Yeah, probably.
He'd be assassinated by the Bognadoffs.
They would dump
goblins
him.
Run everything.
Sometimes they don't dump stock. They dump bodies.
I just realized that might actually be incredibly racist on Rowling's part.
What?
Or anti-Semitic.
Oh no, Rowling is absolutely anti-Semitic. 100%. There was no even doubting or joking about that. She's absolutely anti-Semitic.
Because literally they are. This is not at all. It's literally just fucking big-nosed people who run the world's economy.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
A fucking.
Yeah. No.
Wow.
Yeah. No. Rowling is absolutely anti-Semitic. That's not even.
We wish we could joke about that. Unfortunately, we can't.
What did she say?
Also,
Nothing. She didn't say
brought
anything,
that
Isley. She has a race of long-nosed, ugly, stumpy creatures that everyone hates, that are regulated to a small section of the continent,
and control all
the world's gold.
It is literally the fucking joke. It's literally just the fucking racial stereotype everyone has of just Jews being money-grubbing assholes. It's not. It's fucking. You can't make this up.
No,
you can't make this up.
I'm feeling some inner assessment there.
No. Anyway, so the point being is that the author's basing the story idea off the fact that the goblins are unaware of how much gold is worth in the real world. And that they just have a fixed rate of £5 to 1 gold.
That
Never
doesn't make sense.
changes. That's how banks work, right? They just have fixed currency exchange rates that never change. Anyway, so blah blah blah, they're selling the gold, blah blah blah, breaking the bank, blah blah blah. Petunia realized that their finances were getting better, and she confronted Vernon and Harry. Vernon, what's going on? Why are we getting money? They both smiled smugly. Blah, blah, blah. Well, Petunia, you remember that I took a basic economics class in 3rd grade, and I realized that the gold coins I have are pure gold. So therefore, by the power of autism, I was capable of transmuting the... I was capable of transmuting the gold
God
into
fucking
British
damn it, Sneaky.
I can make the joke. I'm autistic.
Are you actually?
Yeah, I was diagnosed by an actual doctor.
Fucking when?
Like 3 years ago.
When the fuck did this happen?
Like 3 years ago.
I don't fucking recall this.
Well, don't share it.
You just said it on fucking stream.
Well, yeah, I'm a little bit drunk. Fuck off.
No.
Anyway, I have the A pass.
That's not how it works.
That's exactly how it works.
No.
Anyway, so blah 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 blah, and then Petunia went O-face, shocking at the amount of money they were getting, and blah
Did you just say
blah.
O-faced?
Yeah, O-faced. Blah 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 blah. We're breaking the bank. Blah blah blah, and the IRS totally won't catch anyone. Vernon getting 15k in the span of a single week absolutely will not alert the British IRS. Totally not. Nope.
You got a license for that gold, mate.
I earned you £15,000. I earned the right to eat at this table.
And then suddenly Dudley became the boy under the stairs.
Blah blah blah. We can't do this too often, otherwise someone might get wise to the scheme, and it would devalue the price of gold tremendously. You already...
Oh, someone might get wise on the scheme.
They already sold £310,000 worth of gold. This might devalue gold. Sells $250,000 gold. Huh.
I don't know. I feel like that might devalue things a little.
Yeah, just a little bit. Of course, Harry's schooling, blah blah blah. We can continuously do this. He'll keep sending us money. He even negotiated with the bank to give us more money. Blah blah.
That's an impressive amount of negotiation for a boy who's 11 years old.
You see, because he got us all this money. Wow, I thought Aura was joking. As for why I'm allowing him to eat at the table with us and a normal meal, I'd say he earned it. He's only... Jesus Christ.
He earned
Holy
15k
shit,
in a
Arthur.
fucking week. He earned a blowjob and a lap dance from both of them.
Yeah, that's fucking a lot of money.
Aura says generic British currency joke. Yep. Well done, Aura.
15,000 gold isn't anything because of the falling of the British pound. Ha ha. Ha Brexit jokes.
Alright. Well then, that's it. We're done. We can move on.
Thank the Lord.
I know, my son. I know.
All right, so we got some Worm Kill the Kill, and we got some Naruto. Does anyone have any preferences?
Okay, how the fuck does that work?
All right, well, so glad you asked. Let's find out.
No, like, just it's confusing. I don't understand.
Worm Kill the Kill it is. That is not what I
Actually,
want to
there
do.
was a good fic written about it on SB, but it was written in snippet fiction, so it never took off.
Alright, so this is ask not how the sparrow ask not the sparrow how the eagle soars exclamation point. Because everyone needs a best friend, even if that friend happens to be a sentient sailor uniform. Begins post Kill the Kill and pre-worm. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't all the life threads die in Kill the Kill?
No. There was actually apparently an OVA or something like that.
No. Author's note, blah blah blah, cross posting, blah blah blah. Prologue time. It was a particularly sweltering August night when Hebert's life changed forever. She was lying in her cabin, staring up at the rough timber ceiling and thinking about her current situation. Summer camp had offered up a welcome escape to relative normalcy in the aftermath of her first year at Winslow. That's
not how that works.
I don't think I've ever witnessed someone butcher the worm timeline as much as I have just witnessed.
An essence of silver and steel.
Essence of Silver and Steel? No, Essence of Silver and Steel didn't butcher Worm canonical timeline.
Capri.
No.
I can repeat it many times.
It did not butcher the canonical timeline. The author actually superglued themselves to the railroad of canon timeline. Now, admittedly, they absolutely fucked literally every other aspect of the story, but they followed that canon timeline regardless if it made sense or not.
Capri.
Yes, exactly. My point.
Also, Sneaky, I linked a fic that you really should read the first at least chapter. This is the most bullshit fic that I ever found about Bleach.
Oh god, oh Jesus Christ. Oh no. Alright, we're doing that next.
Thank you.
Do we have to?
Yeah. As I was saying, no, see, the thing here is that the author is literally, 1 year mixing up the canonical timeline. The author is claiming that Taylor went to summer camp after a year in Winslow, when it's the opposite.
Maybe she went there again?
No. I mean,
Well,
this could be an AU, where she did, but the author didn't say there would be an AU, so I'm just going to assume they're dumb and don't actually know Worm. I didn't bother looking up the timeline. Blah blah blah. Angst. Semicolon angst. Angst. I could butcher it worse, Sneaky. I don't have any idea what the worm timeline is at all. That's fair. Anyway, angst, semicolon, angst, blah blah blah, angst. I'm a teenager. Leeches in the lake, angst.
Angst.
Wham, blah blah blah. Angsting, nostalgia angst, blah blah blah, fucking Sophia, blah blah fucking Emma, blah blah fucking Madison, blah 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 blah, angst, the camp is cursed. Angst, she's restless, angst, blah 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 blah.
That's a lot of angst.
Blah. Taylor's gonna go take a walk in the forest alone past midnight with no source of light. Blah 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 blah
Is this where
blah.
Aragog shows up or something?
Yes, this is where Aragog shows up and eats Taylor.
Sounds about right.
Is this a lesdom fic? What? The fuck is lesdom?
Lesdom.
The fuck did you say?
Seriously, no, yeah, that doesn't work like that. No, lesdom, it means that the only acceptable relationship are between two lesbians. It basically means that the anger at Sophia will transfuse into sexual domineering and then to love.
That's
Ah, okay. Well, no, it's not this sort of story. Blah blah blah. Oh my god, that meteor is actually a meteor and not a star. Blah blah blah. Explosion sounds. Blah blah. Pieces scattering everywhere, and one was heading right towards her.
loud kaboom noises.
Blah blah blah. Loud kaboom noises.
Angry
She's
Tsundere noises.
She's hearing muttering in her head. A meteor hit her. It's wrapping around her. Blah blah
Wait,
blah.
Okay, well, Sneaky, there was a logical pause here. First she has the voices, then meteor hits her, then meteor starts to wrap around her.
Yes. The meteor's now tentacle hentai her. Blah blah blah. Her leg was deleted. Her other leg was deleted as well. Her pelvis was deleted, and she was on fire. Blah blah. It wanted to eat her blood. Blah blah blah. Pulsing red threads. It was talking to her. Blah blah blah. Human, touch me. I need your blood. Help me. I'll help you. Blah blah blah. Taylor's like, well, can't get any worse than this. And then so she dragged herself across the ground and slapped her hand onto the uniform. And then she exploded in agony, pleasure, grief, loss as the uniform Kamui wrapped around her body. Bolts of hot lightning arcing out, striking nearby trees, and she felt her mind crack. Query, alarm, anger, aggression. She is mine, not yours. Taylor screamed as hot pain burrowed into her mind and she knew no more. If Dragon had eyes to narrow, she would narrow them. An unidentified extraterrestrial object had just passed over the eastern seaboard and ignited in the atmosphere. Whatever it did, blah blah blah. Unknown composition, blah blah blah, radiation. blah blah blah, arcs towards the sun after shedding parts of itself across the U.S. Oh wow! I wonder if this is a hook to lead Taylor to other people and places.
Gee, you don't say.
What are we reading? We're reading a Kill the Kill Worm crossover, in which Taylor's lower body gets deleted by a meteor made of clothing, and then the clothing fuses with her.
This sucks as much as you think it does.
Yeah, more or less. Oh, Jesus Christ. Blah blah blah, she needs to investigate, blah blah blah, run times. At first glance, it was a Byzantine smirk plot, blah 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 blah, Tinker made shuttles, blah blah. Blah blah, orchestrated attack, but shouldn't be happening for another couple of months, and blah 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 patterns, and blah blah blah, dump it now. And she was scared. Well, I am sure glad that we read the prologue to this story, because now it has readily informed me that this is not a story I ever want to read, because it sounds dumb.
I mean, you say that about every story, really.
Well, you know, maybe they should make dumb stories then. Stop making dumb stories.
Well, I mean, if they did that, we wouldn't have any stories to read, because literally all we read are dumb stories.
You know, I am in the position of Goblin Slayer right here, where if my job becomes defunct, that is a good thing. If I don't have shit stories to complain about anymore, that's a good thing.
Just a warning about the stories that I recommended. It's one of the few stories that I found that after wonks not the power of his character, but the power-ups. He literally wonks the feeling of character being power-upped in some way or form. I'm pretty sure there is somewhere a part where a random rabid dog bites Ichigo and he somehow gains the dog senses, just to get him a power-up.
Well, we'll never find out, because we're only going to be reading the first chapter.
Good luck.
As always, the fic we follow is in the Discord. Let's try and get on through this. Broken dreams. Oh, that's gonna need the deep voice.
Ichigo finally killed Aizen, but from that he gained 2 new spirits, 2 big secrets, and 1 lonely time. Rated T for language. This does contain some anime crossover and minor cameo materials. PM me if you have possible idea to incorporate potential visits of more cameos. Updates monthly.
Translation, it has all the crossovers. Literally every fucking one of them. Holy shit, Sneaky, are you fucking sniffing that alcohol, whatever you're drinking?
Oh yeah, dude, I'm just directly injecting it into my nasal cavity. That's what you do with alcohol, right?
No, that's what you do with the broken down fangs of the walrus, from Tasks of the Walrus.
Oh good, we even have weeb translations in our text legend.
I'm so glad.
Chapter 1, Step of 1 of 1,000.
Ichigo stood over the barren wastelands at the outskirts of Karakura Town, breathing lightly. Dust settled around Aizen's remains, revealing his bisected form, and Ichigo's breathing hitched. White skin on Aizen's back, stitched together in a web of goo, regenerating his body as if Ichigo's final attack was useless. Was the final Getsuga Tensho not enough? It couldn't be possible. Holding his breath, he stepped down into the valley with the remnants of his power. Even that much was difficult.
Now, I would like to mention here that the author in the legend says that Ichigo's thoughts are going to be italicized, and then in the first paragraph, not only does he not italicize them, he only marks off the thoughts with single tick marks instead of double tick marks. So, author, I appreciate your absolutely useless and incorrect legend that you wrote yourself. That really sets the stage for how the rest of this story is going to go. Oh boy. Let's get going. The madman's form had reverted close to his normal state. He was no longer like a butterfly monster, but still not quite human or Shinigami. Only white skin and fragments of a hollow-like mask were left over of his transformation. You have lost Kurosaki, Ichigo, he said as he stood up. Ichigo could only stare, unable to retort, unable to reason how Aizen had survived the attack and still had done enough for Yatsu to begin self-regenerated. Panceris?
It's because he's cheating.
Yes, he does the self-regenerated. The final Getsuga Tensho should have been an attack dimensions higher than Aizen's comprehension. I'm going to attack you with the 29th dimension directly to your life points. You, blah 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 blah. You took it head on and lived in Bakana. Ichigo's remaining powers over darkness shattered off his body as he slumped. He palmed the dusty ground for support, breathless from the shock of sudden drop in Ryatsu, dropping to the levels of a lieutenant barely. Part of him wanted to chuckle, because at this moment Renji would be more useful. He couldn't do a thing now, and no one else could either. Behold, my Zanpakuto is vanishing, Aizen said, holding up his crumbling Zanpakuto. Surely you, of all people, realize what this means. Ichigo glared in response, nothing he could do now, but he understood perfectly well. Everyone would die if Aizen wasn't stopped. Everyone would die because Ichigo failed to give it his all. Was his best still not good enough? Apparently not. Aizen grinned maniacally as if he could read Ichigo's mind. Yuzu, Karen, Chad, or Hime, Uru, Gotchan, and the rest of Soul Society, I am sorry. Ichigo thought as he slowly lost hope. Aizen's
And then
expression.
suddenly...
Yes, actually.
I mean, this is kind of how this kind of stuff goes.
Aizen's expression turned to ecstatic triumph. The Hokyoku decided I have no need for a Zanpakuto. You have become one with your Zanpakuto and its powers, and I shall now do the same. No, now that you've lost that power, I will to ascend new heights far above yours. Ichigo tried to get up, but he just couldn't. Half because of his own weakness and loss of hope, and the rest because he was just so weak. Aizen...
Is the author getting off on making making Ichigo weak or something?
I mean, authors tend to do that.
No. He wants to make Ichigo look weak, so all the power-ups that will come next will be more pleasurable to Wonkun.
I would really appreciate it if you would never say pleasurable again.
Yeah,
Why?
more or less.
Because
blah, blah, blah.
the brain power of the story that we're reading, along with that, just make me think of bad things.
You don't understand that half of the keyboard of the after during writing the first chapter was white, right?
What?
What?
I like how we're just both like, huh?
What?
I just said that half of the keyboard of the author who wrote the first chapter, when he wrote the first chapter, was painted white, along with the half of the screen.
Oh. I don't think that was information I needed to know.
No.
No, well, I just raising your awareness of about the story.
Thank you for giving me this information. Now, please never tell me it again.
Anyway, so, Ichigo, blah blah blah, abruptly halted by a nail of Ryatsu. Blah blah, what is this, Keto? More crimson nails, blah blah blah. They're pushing against the ground. Blah blah blah. Blah blah, Aizen's convulsing. Blah 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 blah. Oh my god. What's going on? Oh, it's Urahara. He's here to save the day. Urahara Kasuke, what are you doing? And blah blah blah. Unguarded moment. I'm shooting you with nails. And blah 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 blah.
Why does
This
he have
is
a
a
nail gun?
seal. If I am shooting you with these nail seals, then you will be sealed inside the nail like a true nail seal. Blah blah blah, hoi 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 hoi, my plan is going according to my plan. Nani, how is this possible? Bakana.
Loud none.
Blah blah, I'm sad, pained, and lonely. Blah blah blah. The reason I seal fire at you activated, you're weak. Blah blah, how am I weak? The Hogyoku is saying it doesn't recognize you anymore. Ichigo yelled as green and purple light shot out of Aizen and entered him. The Hogyoku chose a new master. Good luck, Ichigo. Oh, of course. Ichigo with god powers. What an original anime.
How embarrassing.
Blah blah blah. Blah blah, Tensa Zangetsu, blah blah, what happened, you should be asking them. Oh boy, the Hogyoku is a female. A really busty, curvy female.
Ichigo seems to have problems with those. He kinda does.
Who are you ladies? How'd you get in here? You are a silly boy. It's understandable you don't recognize us. Unfortunately, you're just
We
used
are
by your
the
recent
youth.
foe. Oh, you're Kyoko Sugetsu, and that must mean you're the Hogyoku. Well, how did you get in here? Well, you see, when Aizen laser beamed you with his essence, we traveled with it, and now we are part of you. Blah 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 blah. You're still gonna lose your powers, but during the time skip, instead of doing nothing, you can now train your powers to be strong and stuff.
Huh?
Normally you will not be able to talk to us, but this is not a normal situation. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, by the way, don't tell anyone what's going on. We don't want anyone to know the Hogyoku is actually a busty small woman.
I mean... Wait, busty small woman.
Yes.
Have we found a companion for Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure his companion was that midget from My Hero Academia. Remember, purple with a lot of balls.
Yes, I know, but that. You know what we were talking about with Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer, right? Fucking.
That means
Blah,
that
blah,
Ivan is very
blah.
tighter with his costume.
Yeah,
Blah blah. By the way, yeah, Ichigo, you're also a Quincy, and blah blah blah. You're yes, canon stuff, canon stuff, canon stuff, canon stuff, canon stuff. My name is Yawatch, the god of Quincy. Blah blah blah. Canon stuff. Scene change time.
it's a scene change.
Sans break.
What the fuck is this? Legally Blonde now?
Yes.
I'm surprised you know what I was talking about.
Ichigo collapsed and blah blah blah. Everyone's worried about him. Blah blah blah. Ichigo's awake again. Ichigo, you're awake again. Yeah, I'm awake again.
How many times do you have to say that he's awake again?
Well, he's losing his Ryatsu, so he might be not awake again soon. Blah blah blah. What's going on? What's going on? Everyone exclaims. Oh, well, you see, Ichigo is just losing half of his soul. It's okay. Time skip a few days later. Urahara.
Ichigo, I'm currently dying. Will you stop standing around and fucking help me?
Basically. Time skip a few days later, Ichigo's just kind of standing there, being all like, yeah, things happened to me, and now the author's going to explain them in a way that makes sure no one ever wants to have anything explained to them ever again. Because they just lost all of their brain cells. And blah blah blah. Flashback time!
Just hear an extremely loud fucking dial tone.
Basically.
Wait, how the fuck this is a flashback? Because it's been a fucking month. Did he time travel?
Flashback time to when Ichigo was still inside his mindscape, but was now talking to just the three previously doohickeyd into his brain and stuff, whatever. And then he's talking about how Ichigo's super strong, and you're godlike stuff now, and you're amazing, and you're awesome. And blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Probably a canon history lesson that I really don't care enough to correct. Round cars, blah blah. Now I'm undetectable. Yep, you're undetectable. Blah blah. Didn't you know that your security badge was actually a surveillance device?
Oh yeah, that was a plot point they brought up.
Was it? I honestly stopped paying attention. Blah blah, you should go learn karate. Why? Whatever. Karate will help you a bunch because reasons. It would also explain why you're getting stronger. Blah blah. Notice Hogyoku and hasn't shown up and said anything to you. I haven't seen her. She's busy modifying your body to meet her expectations. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah. You should go learn how to wield multiple different weapons. Why would I ever do that? I get one response. Blah blah blah. Because what weapon did you think you were using? A Zanpakuto? Wrong. You were never wielding a Zanpakuto. You were actually wielding a hologram this whole time.
What?
That's
Yes.
actually canon.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Yep. Welcome to canon.
Quincy can create weapons from spiritual particles. So Yahweh, when he suppressed Zangetsu, was basically creating him a fake sword.
Oh yeah, he like had a fake. Oh yeah, no, that's right. He did have that like fake sword. It's weird.
It's very weird.
Anyway, so blah blah blah. I want you to modernize Quincy weapons. What, the Quincy gonna have Quincy tanks now or some shit? I don't know. Also,
Yes.
learn all the Quincy techniques. I'll be sure to tell you them all and teach you them all. Also, you're gonna have to go learn all the hollow techniques and master them as well, and basically be unstoppable and blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Hogyoku then came and told Ichigo, I can manipulate your timescape to make the time pass far quicker. And then a schedule, more schedule. Wow, this is a lot of schedule. Am I gonna be doing all of this? Yes,
Yes, you
He
are.
stole it from My Hero Academy.
probably.
My Hero Academia.
Next day. Blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Hey Tetsuki, can I talk to you privately? Sure. Blah blah blah. Do you know about this dojo? Do you still go? I was wondering if I could rejoin you. Why? Because I don't know. I want closure or something. Blah blah blah. Blah. Come to these times. Classes for students. Blah blah blah. Blah blah. Can you ask the captains of all the school clubs to show up? Why would I do that? Just do it, please. Okay, fine. Blah blah blah.
Hey, can you get all the captains of the schools to show?
Yeah, just get them all to show up. Just easy. Blah blah. Dragging 15-year-olds into my battles. That same day. Are we talking about the same day as the flashback, or are we talking about the same day as the previous scene change? Or are we talking about the... I don't... I'm not gonna bother. No, fuck it. Blah blah, Kurosaki, blah blah, why are we meeting here? Blah blah, the author said so, blah blah. Hello! Welcome to my meeting, all of the leaders of all the clubs of the school. I understand that you all want me to do your club. Yes, we all want you to do our clubs. Okay, well, what if I only showed up occasionally for some of your clubs when I felt like it? Also, I'm gonna charge you money. Blah blah. Will you attend practice? I don't know. Who are you? Karate class. Well, I'll probably show up for practice to your place. What about soccer? And who are you? I'm the vice captain of soccer. Oh, well that explains why you want to ask about soccer. Well, to answer your question, I'll only attend practice right before the game. And so all the club captains sighed and said, okay, we'll pay you $20? Was that 2,000 yen? Minus 2 zeros would be around... I don't know. I'm too bored of this spec to even bother. Blah 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 blah. Discord closed out? Nice. Just... Jesus Christ.
I am back. Yep. Yes. Yes, it's broadcasting. I can hear myself. Yes, it's broadcasting. I can hear myself. Give me a moment. It does. Give me a moment. Can you hear me? It does. Give me a moment. It's kind of broadcasting me. It's kind of broadcasting me. It's kind of broadcasting me.
Oh, there we go. Hello. There we go. Hello. Ooh, woo, what's this?
That's infinity effect.
Okay, that was awesome. Anyway, so blah blah blah. Ichigo fleeced all of the students. And then, they started weeping out when Ichigo got home. And then someone created a schedule for him of all the people he's fleecing out. Boy, the schedule sure is lucky that nothing overlapped. Time skip 2 months later.
Hello again.
Ichigo is making a bunch of money. Blah blah. It's been 6 months now. Blah 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 blah. Flashback time. And we don't care. Flashback ending time. We have blackmail. Yep, we have blackmail. Scene change time. Beep beep. Blah 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 blah.
There's a lot of flaws in this. Are you sure that this is a supposedly very interesting fic? Because to me, it just seems like there's a lot of flaws.
Riveting. Absolutely riveting fic. Guaranteed. Money back.
Is that what they do at NME?
Yep. Now then, this year's student with the highest grades is Kago. Nani? The entire class screamed. Oh my god, you should all see your faces. Just kidding. Real results, Kurosaki. Wow, everyone expected this one. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Everyone in the class clapped because Ichigo was being sportsmanlike.
What Elmo says? Clap your hands.
And then a bus crashed through the wall and everyone filed out of the bus and they all started clapping as well.
Okay, I know that the story is boring, but finish it so we can move on.
Move on. No. Yeah, once this story is done, we're done, my dude. I can't take any more for now.
Roll with the punches, Sneaky. Roll with the punches.
I am rolling,
He's been
with,
rolling
the
with the punches.
I'm
We
gonna
just
roll
had Discord
myself
crash
into
on
my
us.
bed. That's what I'm gonna fucking roll into.
Wow, you're that tired.
I'm tired of this shit. Ha
Sneaky, you need to roll with the punches unless they're rolling you towards the Danny DeVito's bed. That's the only way you can't roll.
Blah blah blah. Hello, I am Uru's dad. Hello, Uru's dad. Are you Uru's dad? Yes, I am Uru's dad. Hello, yes, hello. Riveting conversation.
Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour.
Do you know
bonjour.
about my mother? Yeah, I know about your mother. I am actually your uncle. Well, you're my uncle. Blocks of text. Blocks of text. Blocks of text. Don't
Robert
care. Blah blah blah. Have your mother's Quincy cross. Hey everyone! Stop bullying!
Stop bullying now.
Yes, Ichigo, the spirits all resounded. I need something to act as a medium. Well, I have a Quincy cross. Does that work? Yeah. Well, how does soul synthesized silver made? Soul synthesized silver is made by exposing silver to energy. Well, what if I get 2 katanas and expose them to my energy? Would doing that turn them into a Sachi? Well, maybe. We could try, but try to get more physical objects into your mindscape. Okay.
This is not how this fucking works.
Well, can you watch make my Quincy cross into a ring? Well, maybe. I'm thinking of like Green Lantern style and stuff. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. I'm gonna make it a Green Lantern ring. Alright, you do that. More weeb text. More weeb text. Hello, sisters. Hello, brother. Yes, we are family. Yup, we are family. Do you know about the Uru? Yes, we know about Uru. Ah, yes. Well, you see, mother was a Quincy. Oh, that's neat and stuff. Blah blah blah. Explain the everything to them. Oh wow, big shock face. And then he gave them crosses. Cause we're all Quincy now and stuff.
The reaction of potatoes. It's a family of potatoes.
Yes, they are all potatoes.
Everyone is Irish.
Blah blah blah. Hey, give me back my bags. And then Ichigo punched the thief in the face. And the guy was like, oh, that's cool. Hey, do you want some food? No, I'm good. And then Ichigo kept walking away. You're a lot more careful than I thought, the owner said. From his bag, he dropped a badge in the shape of the Pentagon with an X cross and a skull in the center. Womp womp womp.
Wah, wah, wah.
Alright, so, that's gonna be it for tonight, cause Jesus goddamn Christ. We'll cover this story next podcast. Yes, I can words excellently. I hope you were all blinded by my glaring white screen. This is, you can, if you gaze upon this white screen, you can see my field of fucks.
And there are none of them.
Notice how it is
a
barren!
harvest. And with that, Sneaky is going to bed because Sneaky's tired.
Well, thank you everyone who stuck around to this point. Now, 6 viewers, that's excellent. Let's see if we can't get that to 12 next time. And you know how we do that? We do that by you telling people to get their pasty white asses into this goddamn podcast. Now, I'm not saying beat them over the head with your computer, but I'm not saying don't.
And with that, we should probably end the stream. Good night.
So, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you all and remind you all, because apparently I need to remind people who somehow forget that this stream is going at these times. 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every single Tuesday and Friday. I've only missed like 2, 3 maybe in the past 3 years. So, buckle up, sit down, make sure you got your work done, make sure you got your dogs fed, make sure you got your kids leashed. Yeah, get ready for this twice a week, because your knowledge will expand every single time you watch this podcast, or money back, guaranteed. I'm not
Is that
paying
a
you.
true guarantee?
Yes, it's a true guarantee. Your knowledge will expand every single time you watch this podcast. Well, I will refund you your $0.
That's a lot of money.
It's free real estate.
Okay, no.
$0 is still $0. It's more or less more than nothing.
Alright, so with that being said, we will see you all next time because remember, there is always more and it always gets worse.